Well, Jesus reminds us, now look, Jesus said in Revelation 2, let's see, do not fear any of these things, verse 10, that you're about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Jesus reminds us he is actually limiting what Satan can do. What's fascinating, we learned in the years that I ran Bibles behind the Iron Curtain, I've told you a couple of the stories, but the most amazing thing that really got my attention, behind the Iron Curtain, in all the Eastern European nations and Russia, if your family was Christian, your children could not go to college. They could not go to any higher education. They had to become manual laborers in the society of communism. Christians could not advance. They could not go to university. They could not be professionals. They could not be up there in the elite. They had to be, especially when we were in Romania, I would visit churches where the people that were digging ditches and the people that were cleaning out the sewers before communism had been doctors and lawyers and philosophers and university professors, and communism said no. So did you know when you became a Christian, you knew for sure what it did to your children? They could never get a job, one of those kind where your hands don't get dirty and you don't have calluses. Think about that. Just a second. Parents will do anything for their children to get ahead. Did you know that? Did your parents drive you to about every athletic thing and every music thing and every academic thing, and they helped you get your scholarships, and they push and push and push? In America, parents will do anything to get their kids ahead. In the old days, in communism, becoming a Christian torpedoed your children's future, your future, and your children's future. You see, there's coming a time when the Lord is going to allow Satan, even in America, to take away this aura we have of security. And we need to be ready. Always remember that you live after the power of an endless life. It says in verse 11, I don't know why I closed my Bible if we're studying the Bible, but it says in verse 11, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes will not be hurt by the second death. You know how the writer of Hebrews put it? This is one of my favorite verses. It says, who live after the power of an endless life. Did you know that you and I have eternal life right now? If you don't have eternal life right now, you aren't going to have it later. The instant you were born again, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have what? Yeah, have it. Not someday. You have it right now. It's unbelievable to think about the fact that you and I have the power of an endless life that the world doesn't have. So basically what the lesson from Smyrna is, we need to recalibrate the way we look at life. Life is actually just camping. You know what camping is? It's when you get a tent and the ground is rough and you can't sleep and it gets wet inside the tent from everybody breathing and there's bugs and dirt in the tent and you go to these smelly showers and the bathrooms are worse and you eat awful food that gets burnt and bugs are biting you and you have all kinds of, no-see-um bites everywhere else and in your hair and everything else. That's camping. And you can't wait for it to be over to what? Go home. God says we need to start looking at this time we're living in right now like we're camping. Did you know that's what Peter said? He said, I'm going to put off this tent. Paul said, it's time for my departure. You know what the word departure means in Greek? Breaking up camp and sailing away on another trip. He said, I'm just camping here. I'm looking for a city that has foundations, the writer of Hebrews said, whose builder and maker is God. I am looking forward to heaven. My citizenship is there, Paul told the Philippians. Heaven is my home. That's the lesson. And by the way, many early Christians walked right through these archways to heaven. They said, my time to camp is over. They're going to kill me in there, and I'm going to heaven. And by the way, it was one of the greatest revivals in history, and the Roman Empire became Christian. because more people got saved than they could execute.